Hello, everybody. This is going to be a little bit different. This is Liza Carly here with us because we cannot make the connection. So, hi, Liza Carly. Thank you for being with us. And you're going to talk about my book, The Light Within, and you're going to explain to everybody how my book made a difference, right?
Yes, yes. And here it is. This is the book. Um, and I love that you started out with the same questions and the same problems that a lot of women, I think, have because we're taught to take care of the people around us, not even to consider what we might want to do with our lives. Um, and and then when we do start considering what we want to do with our lives, a lot of times, and you went through this too, we get a lot of flack from people around us that want us to stay subservient and make them happy. Um, I remember even one time, I wanted to go to college and um, I my mom had said that she would help me, but when we found out how expensive it was, she said she couldn't. And I said that was fine, but I said I'm gonna work and pay my own way through. I really want to do this. And she said, well, why do you think you're so special? Nobody else in the family went to college. She was really unhappy with me for wanting that. Um, and I did go to college. I never did graduate. I was one class shy. Um, I needed algebra. Um, so anyway, here I am now. I just turned 50 this year. Um, I love that in your book you talk about spending time around the people who give us energy and who do not discourage our uh, plans that we want to make, that don't discourage us from being who we most deeply really want to be. And I agree with that completely. I think that when you love someone, that you want that person to be happy and that you want them to be deeply satisfied and to be, if you truly love them, then you don't want to change them into something other than who they are. You want them to be truly themselves. And I understand this. I do understand this. A lot of people don't, may not. And so I love that you're very straightforward and that you mean to ahead and remove those people from your life or at least spend less time with them and be some friends who don't do that to us. Really important. I also love that you don't sugarcoat it too much. My life is my responsibility, and my emotions are my responsibility. So it's, I think, in the beginning, being a targeted individual and being followed by my government and physically attacked by my government, it's natural for all of us TIs. It's really easy to say, well, I didn't do this and I can't do that because I'm targeted. And so to stop doing that and take responsibility, there's something internal that's like not quite wanting to do that. The beautiful thing is that when you do that, you say, okay, I might have to do it more slowly. I might have to do it a different route a little bit, but I'm going to find a way to do this. Then it becomes possible. So taking responsibility and saying maybe it's my fault. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention. Um, that's a little bit hard, but there's such a huge benefit to taking responsibility, and that it becomes actually possible. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Um, and I did have a lot of toxic relationships, and one of them in particular that I was listening to someone else talk, and it reminded me that I did have a boyfriend for 8 years, and he was physically abusive. Most of my relationships were not like that, but he was. But the odd thing was that he was hurting me physically, but afterwards he felt so sorry that I felt bad for him, and I was spending my time comforting him, which is just insane. So we were both doing insanity in different ways, but at the same time, and it was really unhealthy. So it's interesting that I see my part in that. You know, I became resentful, and then I would say mean-spirited little things, and he would get angry and become abusive, and then I would feel bad for him, and it was just the most crazy cycle. So I'm more direct with people now. I don't wait until I'm angry so much to voice my needs, and I take care of a lot of my needs on my own. You know, I don't wait for somebody else to fix it for me, and that makes a huge difference. And the more positive I become, of course, the more that people around me become positive in the way that they respond to me. Just like I don't want to be around people that are, you know, a big bummer because everything's terrible and nothing's ever the way they want it to be, and they just want to complain and on and on and on. I've done that. I've been that kind of like drain on people, and I don't want because of not having so much of that happening in life, but also because of choosing that that's an uglier that I don't want to do to the people I love, and make that change. It's been really transformative. So I'm very grateful for that. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you, definitely. I can see you even, and I'm sure everybody can see you on Facebook. So what electronics do to us, I need to turn my phone so people can see you, because you cannot log in into my room, so, and you cannot be part of it, and I'm sorry about that, but see, sometimes we need to find a way to accommodate ourselves so we can continue with what we are just about to do, like in this case the interview. To make sure that the interview is happening, we need to find a creative way so we can finish this interview and do the work.
Right. And that's how life is. It doesn't always give us exactly the way we want it. So we have to persevere and find a way, and not just say, "Oh, it doesn't work. Nothing works." You know, it'll never happen like you're right.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm so happy for you, and you have no idea how grateful I am, because you're getting married and you're happy, and no matter what's going on around you, you're able to block it and continue your life. And I do the same thing every day, and you have to do the work yourself, nobody else. Don't count on anybody, and this makes you stronger and makes you more confident to move on with your life, and you know that any obstacle that shows in your life, you're able to overcome it. So that's what I'm trying to convey in my book, and I would love for people to read it. You were telling me you have been taking my quizzes all over and over again, and I'm just so grateful I'm able to make some difference in somebody's life. Leave your boyfriend, you didn't want to stay, and right now you're getting married, and it's the most wonderful feeling in the world.
It is. I am so grateful, and it's been me coming to California again. I spent the first 25 years of my life in Ohio, which is where I grew up, and then when I was 25, I came out here, and I loved the atmosphere. It's just a beautiful part of the country. There's so many creative people out here, such as yourself. And I felt at home. So because of the targeting, I moved away. Like a lot of people, we think that someone around us is harassing us, so if we move, it'll stop. But this kind of targeting that our government does, so many people participate, and we go to a new state, and our case, because we're all accused of being terrorists or on some kind of watch list, that gets passed on, and we just get treated as badly wherever we go. So I kept moving, and when I finally realized that it wasn't going to be better in any state, and my friends and the country, the land itself that I really love, all of that was here. And I knew that to get healthy, because I was getting so attacked with the directed energy weapons that I could barely climb a flight of stairs. I was really sick. And I knew I had to come back to California to get healthy. And I prayed about it and prayed about it. And finally I found something I could afford, because while I was away, prices went way up. Rent and realty became like doubly expensive. So I prayed about it a lot. And I found something I could afford. And I came back. And I called a few friends and said, I'm going to be back, and we want to get together. And one of them was my now fiance, Steve. And I thought that he was happily married, and I thought we were going to get together for coffee and talk, and that would be it. And I got here and found out that he was not married, and that he still loved me, and the feelings were all right there again, and it's happened really naturally and beautifully. And I believe, I know that this has been 100% answered from God through prayer, because I have dated so many perps, so many gang stalkers, and mostly found out really quickly that that's what they were, and it's been really disappointing. And so when I came back to California, I came back with the understanding that I'm only going to be allowed to date people that are looking for ways to hurt me, and so I'm just not going to date anybody anymore. And I have my cat, my little cat Jimmy Carter, and I thought, okay, I'm going to move into this cabin in the mountains. It's going to be beautiful. I have my cat and my easel. I'll paint and sew and pray, and I will be just fine. And that was the attitude. And I would have been fine. And this happened. I met up with Steve, and there's been a few bumps that we had to work out, just like any relationship. Nothing's perfect, but it's worked out really beautifully. I trust him. It's been very hard. We spent the past year just gaining my trust. Not because of anything he ever did, but because of the targeting and all the lies from people. That's been hard. And I had said at one point that I used to be so trusting. I used to automatically pretty much love everybody and assume that everybody is honest and loving. And over the course of the past 15 years of being targeted, that whole attitude pretty much got trampled. So I have said that losing the ability to trust people has actually been more painful than the physical attacks. So I'm so grateful to be in a relationship with someone that I trust, to be building friendships with people like you, also Deborah Gordon, a handful of other women, Michelle Burns that I've met, others that I trust. It's amazing, and I'm so grateful to be rebuilding that ability. So I just really want to encourage people that are struggling and hurt, that not everyone is your enemy. Don't let go of your old friends. Don't let go of your family members if they say something that offends you. Um, not to let yourself be abused, but don't automatically assume that everyone's become a gang stalker. Um, people are occasionally a little off center and might say something, but the people who have loved you since your childhood um, are probably not going to stop loving you because some stranger comes and tells them that you're a terrorist or, whatever they say. Um, and also, I think it's really important to not um, try to keep it all to yourself. I want to encourage people to not be afraid to talk to their friends and their family about what's going on because it's coming out more and more. Now they're actually calling it the Havana syndrome because of what happened in Cuba with the diplomats. And there have been talk shows. I know there was a 60 Minutes episode with a woman who was targeted. There have been other talk shows where TIs have been interviewed, and it's becoming more known. I've even gone to my doctors with wounds that were a direct result of use of directed energy weapons against me. And told the doctors what happened, and I said, "You probably think I'm crazy." And they said, "No, we get it. Stuff like this goes on." So I think the more that we talk about these things, the more it becomes known, the closer we'll get to having these really horrendous programs that just dismantle every aspect of a person's life to getting those shut down.
That's very true. We need to talk about it. And we need to share our stories because this is not okay. This is human rights issue. There's so many things going on in right now, and every targeted individual, they have different story, and it's a global thing. It's not only here in America.
Yes.
And it's very disturbing, and we need to stop this because it definitely takes a toll on your life, on your body, on who you are. And it's really important for this thing to be found a solution and to come to the ears to the right people who can do the work. But like you said, a lot of people right now are listening. A lot of people know what's going on, and you targeted individuals, they're not perceived like they're crazy because everything what is happening, it's a crazy thing. People do crazy thing to people to make them look crazy.
Yes, they do. They will needle you and needle you and needle you, and then when you finally lose your temper, they'll say, "Oh, look at her. She's angry. She's bad." It's incredibly complicated how much they have worked out all these different abuses that they do to us. That's really amazing to me that people want to put their time into something so ugly. And I know, though, that there's a lot of mind control happening, and I think a lot of these gang stalkers are victims too. And I do feel for them. They're murdering us, so I don't feel too badly for them. They need to stop doing that. But I also realize that they're not fully in their right minds. I wanted to say one thing to you, Diana. I love that you post about animal cruelty, about domestic violence, about situations where children are mistreated. I love that you have compassion for everyone. And we recently had a lot of attention to the Black Lives Matter movement. And also, most recently, there's a lot happening in the Native American communities, especially in Canada. There have been investigations into some of these Indian schools, that were formed like 150 years ago, probably. Um, many thousands of Indian children were murdered in these schools and buried, and their families were told that they disappeared.
Hmm.
It's been an incredible genocide. I took some Native American studies classes in college and learned that our government made hundreds of petitions with Native Americans and did not keep a single one promise that they made.
Hmm.
Indian people get to go to the clinic that's on their reservation and that oftentimes is very poor care and where they're subjected to human experimentation. I recently had somebody call and I was really excited. I was offered I was going to get this extra medical help that would be free to me and I would get all these different services. So I made an appointment and I went in and it was a clinic that was also for Indians, which I don't care. I love everybody. But what was really upsetting was the paperwork that they gave me to sign said they were going to share my information with schools, with different hospitals, with pretty much whoever they wanted. And so this was going to be more experimentation, and I just didn't want to go that route. So that's a new thing that our government is doing. They're offering a lot. Biden has just come up with these fantastic plans that are going to help you afford better health care, except there's only one clinic where you're allowed to go, and it's for health care. So that's happening, but that's also something that's been happening to Native Americans since we got here, since Europeans got here to this country. The genocide that's been done to them is probably on a par with the Holocaust, with the things that were done to Jews. They were put in what we're calling schools, but children were locked in at night and they were taught to scrub floors. These children were not getting an education. And if they spoke their own language to each other, then some of them got murdered. A lot of them got murdered. And this is finally coming out. So we now have a Secretary of the Interior, Deb, I can't remember her last name, but she's Pueblo, and she's pushing, and there are going to be investigations. This has been happening already in Canada. There are now going to be investigations into what's happening and happened with Indian schools in the United States. So there's going to be a lot of that. And the reason that all of this is pertinent, animal cruelty is just way beyond my understanding. All of it is. How can people so callously, violently abuse creatures that have no defense? Women attack women and children with weapons of war that have no defense. Eat animals so that they'll be more tender to eat. The ways that they are raised, where they're so confined they can't even move. They have to knock off the beaks of chickens so they don't kill each other because they're angry because they're raised in such horrible, horrific conditions. And how can we just skate through our lives without paying attention to what's going on and saying something to stop it? And these eyes who are also being very abused, we need to pay attention. It's important. allow any group of people or entities to be abused, then we create an environment in which abuse is allowed, and we can be abused too. So for the people who are thinking, I have my own cause and I don't have time to think about these other people, we're all part of the same world community. And in order for compassion to thrive, we need to be compassionate to people in every kind of situation. And you do that, and I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing my best. I hope people are gonna start to awake to the truth and start doing something, because we are all in this together. We need to start to unite and do the right thing so we can prevent this from happening. And all of these things are coming to the surface because there is a reason behind it right now at this moment. So people can open their eyes and see what is going on behind the veil. Because this is not okay to kill children, the Native Americans. This is absolutely horrible thing. I can imagine these parents if they tell you, oh, your child disappeared. It's absolutely unacceptable for something like this to happen, as well as animals. They don't have voice to beat children, to beat dogs like this, so they can you eat their tender meat. It's unbelievable. I have two dogs. You heard them here. I cannot imagine that. Just my head cannot wrap around something like this. I just can't. I just can't. How a human being could be so cruel? How a human being could be so villain to do something like this? It's absolutely unacceptable. And the future of the humanity, it's in our hands. That's it. We need to do something about it. Nothing is written in a stone. Whatever is happening in the matrix, we can change it, but we need to start doing the work.
Absolutely. Can I say something about religion?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I want to say this too, that I love God. I've always been a deeply spiritual person. Um, and I accept that people worship God and understand themselves as spiritual beings in different ways, and I'm okay with that. I don't need a person to, follow my beliefs. But I have read the Bible, and I noticed that people interpret it in whatever ways are convenient. And so you have people who, say that God gave us dominion and that it's okay for us to do anything we want with the land, with the animals. It doesn't. They're taking that out of context. It doesn't mean it's okay to abuse. And I think that I believe soundly because I've had a few experiences in my life where I felt I went unconscious and I felt God all around me and saying, and I didn't actually hear a voice, but it was very loud to my heart, God saying, I love you so much. And I'm not special. God loves everyone so much. I believe that. Profoundly, I know that. So, when Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life, I really feel that he meant the way I'm living my life is the way that you can have most joy and most freedom. He said the wealthy elite have no hold on God, and God is available to everyone to criminals to prostitutes to the poor. You know, God is as much for every single one of us, and we can turn to God at any time. He wasn't saying go beat each other over the head about religion. You know, make everyone, if they don't believe your way, wrong. And so, you know, I love the teachings of Jesus. I really do. But I guess I interpret them my own way. But so does everybody else who follows any of the, you know, many Protestant and Catholic variations on Christianity. So I guess I want to say, read the Bible with love in your heart and common sense. He wasn't saying if a person is black and if they worship their own God and if they live in the jungle, then they're not human and it's okay for you to enslave and torture them. No way! No way! And so these crazy Christians who did that, I'm not sure, like, where is the disconnect? They're calling themselves Christians. Did they actually read the Bible? And did they not get it? Or, you know, what's going on there? It's a total disconnect. And if you look at Hindus, at Buddhists, at Native Americans, if you look at any religion, the people who are devout will live their lives in a very similar way. They will be kind and respectful to all of those around them. So I just probably have made myself very unpopular Christian friends. That's okay. But I really wanted to just put that idea out there. It's about love. It's not about semantics or about, you know, this color, that brand, this brand. It's not about any of that.
That's very true. That's very true. It creates hypocrisy, and everybody, reads the Bible, but you're kind of twisting it in the way they perceive life, perceive people around, which is not okay. Because hurting people and the way the things are right now is definitely is not coming from God or Jesus or anything like this. So everybody should be aware of it. And I have another question because I heard that my book, The Light Within, wants to replace the Bible. Do you feel like I'm trying to do something like this with my book?
Absolutely not. No, I don't know who said that. They were crazy. No, you're not telling me or anyone what to think about God or what to think about their own spiritual nature. You're presenting healthy ways of finding true joy and happiness in this life, in this world. So no, it makes me laugh to even think that. No, you're not trying to replace the Bible.
Exactly. Me too. It makes me laugh a lot. I don't know who came up with this idea. Probably they decided I'm God's sister. I wish I was, but I'm not. But yeah, so I can write another Bible. Yeah,
People say crazy things when they're jealous.
yeah, exactly. And you are doing amazing art things. You're sewing dresses and jacket. We're working on a jacket which I cannot wear. Thank you so much. Can you tell us people where they can find your fabulous stuff because the things you do are amazing.
Oh, thank you. I have a lot of it posted on Etsy, etsy.com. And my Etsy studio is just called Liza Carlisle, LizaCarlie Studio. And so you can go there and see some of the things that I make. I'm working on a new collection of dresses. I can't believe this was wonderful because I made some dresses that were patchwork and very kind of quilty looking, and I love the different textures and colors and a lot of imagery from nature, plants and animals and things that I love that are close to my heart. So so I did those things, and people kind of said, "Well, nobody's gonna wear that; they'll look like a walking quilt." So I said, "Okay, I won't do that anymore." So recently, there's a wonderful group on Facebook called Textile Art Collective that I'm part of, and I posted one of those dresses, and someone said, "This is right in style. Everybody's wearing this kind of thing, and go look." And she gave me some links to look at some fashion shows, and I was blown away, and it was really wonderful. So I've been doing that, and I've been using combinations of embroidery and applique and patchwork, and just I have a really good time. A lot of times I find one small thing, even in a painting, I find one small thing that inspires me, and then the whole design kind of forms around that. And I'm finding a lot of joy in that. I had shut down. I've been targeted for 15 years, and I had people watching me all the time, and I knew it, and it made me. I felt very violated. It made me really uncomfortable and unable to create. And I had a lot of anger. I grew up with a very angry parent, and I had a lot of anger when I was younger, and I felt bad about it, and I was, hostile. I was so hard on people, not deliberately, but I was a mess, and I felt at the same time, I justified my tantrums, because that's what the mind does. We don't want to think that we're horrible people or that we're doing something wrong. So our mind tells us that we're okay because blah, 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 blah. And it's really this other person's fault. And just like you said in your book, we want to blame everybody else. And I went through, because of being targeted, knowing that other people were watching me all the time. I had to take a really hard look at myself, and I had to work really hard to change some things. And as I did that, I became less and less self-conscious and less worried that people were watching me, because I felt good about the way that I carried myself in the world. And so that's been actually a benefit. Maybe the only benefit, really, of being targeted, but it's been a really huge one. I have to admit that. Would I put people through that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody should have to go through this. But I think if you're terribly afraid of people seeing you, there probably are some things that you really need to take a look at.
Yeah. You sound completely different the last time when we spoke with you. You were completely blocked. You didn't want to do anything with your art. You left everything, but I'm so happy to see you moving in the right direction, being happy and ignoring everything what is going on around you. This is really good.
It is. I still get the attacks. There are days where I have to roll up in a bunch of reflectics and I can't really get anything done. But I don't let that completely shut me down. You know, I say, okay, this is happening now, and I'm going to wait this out. It might be a few days, and then I'll get back to work.
I do the same thing.
You do the same thing?
Yeah. I do the same thing, but I recharge myself, and then I start doing my creative work, finishing whatever I have to finish. I'm giving myself space because I'm targeted also constantly. They upset me. They try to make me negative, you know, with a reason, and kind of takes a toll on my energy. But I'm able to, come back. I'm not allowing them to stop me from what I'm doing. And you're doing the right thing also.
I am amazed at how much energy you have, and that you are there. You're so much present and been there for me as a friend, and as a coach. And you have a music career, and a writing career, and a coaching career, and you are involved in charities for people. You seem to have an amazing amount of energy.
Yes, I'm doing my best. I'm not going to allow anybody to keep me away from my creativity, from who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to allow that. It's not going to happen. Like today, I'm holding the phone and we are still having the interview, and it's not going to happen for them to stop what we are doing. It's not going to happen. Basically, sending them the message.
Yeah, I wonder why Facebook works, but not the other live stream.
I have no idea.
I would think the live stream would be harder to hack. Huh.
I don't know. Live stream always been really amazing. I had two ladies from India. The first episode, the connection was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened today. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, I had it working a couple hours ago. It was working, and I felt very proud of myself. I thought it was all ready.
That's very good, Liza. I'm so happy to see you. Congratulating you on your new wedding. I cannot wait to see you being a bride. This is absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. You're doing great. Thank you so much for sharing the thoughts about my book, what my book was able to do. And I hope everybody's going to buy it and try it for themselves. And it's not the Bible, it's not replacing the Bible. When people try to do something to you, they're finding the right, the right thing to say, I guess. Yeah. So.
Hey, maybe just for humor, we could have you stand in front of a wooden cross with your arms out.
Exactly. This is going to definitely replicate my life, believe me. That's where I am at the moment, but I'm not giving up. Yeah. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. Thank you, Liza. I will have you again. I'm following your progress. You're absolutely amazing. Stay strong. Do the thing that makes you smile. Be happy. Have faith in yourself. There is only one life to live, and you can do it. And you're proving it to yourself every single day. You're in charge, nobody else.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.